Hello, today I'm going to be showcasing the Fusty and Tack strategy. This strategy is really good and can help you get a lot of wins on chimps. So the whole idea of this is using Fusty to use the Rally Roar ability on the Tack Zone, which will make it do a lot more damage. With the Tack Zone, I'm also going to pair this with a Prince of Darkness because it's very good at cleaning up and getting whatever the Tack Zone can't get. So for this one, I'm going to be showcasing it on Peninsula, which isn't a very good strategy for this map, but I decided to do it just for the showcase and kind of like X Factor. It's a very hard map, so I'm going to be doing a lot more things that may not be super necessary, and I'll point that out, but also I will have a reference coming up right here. So this is kind of what it will look like without all the extra things, and you can reference that later on. But it will be the same exact strategy that I am showcasing here. I just thought that would be helpful for if I'm showcasing a strategy on a harder map than what you normally would be facing off. So to start, I do a dart sniper, triple dart, dart sub, whatever works fine, and I get Fusty a little bit early. If you can't really manage to get Fusty this early, that's fine. You don't have to do it, just as long as you get him before about round 20. That should be fine. I get a air burst sub just for early game. This can be replaced with a 302 ninja or even an engineer if you need it. And then I have something for intel that's not necessary if you're not using sub. And then I get a 1-1-0 sniper to kill that early camo, to kill the early leads, because I do not trust Fusty in killing the leads. Now this part you can go straight into your tack, and for the tack you want to place it in the right spot. I am going to in the future make a video on how to place the tack correctly, but overall place it underneath the track and on the curves. So it's not too difficult to find the best tack placement, and even if it's not the best, simple judgment will kind of tell where a good one is at least. But you basically want it to be around the curves and underneath the track. So if it's above the track, it's not very good. On this map, there really isn't any good placement, so that's that, and that will carry the early game. I get a 002 wizard, or 202, to help out with these early camos. That will later become the Prince of Darkness, and with the sub, we get the advanced intel, so the sub can hit it. But if you don't have that, you might need to get like a spike factory, or if you're using the ninja will do it. But just get something to kill that early camo, and then we can get overdrive and alk buff, rally roar 40, and that will beat that. And then I'm going to get shimmer before 42, so we can take out the camos. Now shimmer isn't going to be the most reliable thing in the world for taking out the camos, especially if it's in a bad spot, but it will hold off pretty well until we get the MIB, where we kind of need it later on, and we will get the pod before 25, so we don't need to rely on it for killing the camo wave of 78, which it won't do. So we get that. I get Necromancer to help out, and then this is something that you won't do if you're doing a normal map. I have to get the Ice Monkey to get the village, so I'm gonna have about like $4,000 less than you, so use this for your advantage. You can get the upgrades a little bit easier. So from the 200 village, I think for this one I need 300 village, but you can just go straight into tack zone and then work with the villages later. I'm gonna save it for tack zone when you get tack zone, and then from there we'll go to the second part of it. Alright, so for the villages after we get tack zone, I'm going to get a 2 discounts. We're going to get a 402 village and an 032 village. The 032 village will come later, but we'll get the MIB after the pod. But the discounts work really well together, and discounting all that stuff, so you'll save money with that, especially because of all the upgrades we'll get later. But we can get the 400 village, and then we can get the Ice Monkey, the Embrittlement. So we're not getting the Snowstorm, but we're getting the Embrittlement, and we get the discount there, then Embrittlement, and then we can save up with that. That will save up until into the Prince of Darkness. So On an easier map, the save up will be really, really easy. You could go like all the way into the 90s with this, which is pretty funny. But for some harder maps, you will need the embrittlement to get that first. So just to keep it consistent, I would get that. You'll get it fine, and then you get pod before 78, which is really nice. You can beat 78, and then that will go straight into the 80s. So this is what we have. Because I have to buy so much more stuff, I'm getting pod a little bit late, which is fine. But now we can get the MIB after pod, and we will go into the 80s fine. The 80s will be really easy. This is where we are going to kind of save up and buy all the support we need. So there's MIB. I'm going to get a Moab glue, a couple of presses, and I am very stupid here and forget that I can buy the snowstorm and get larger range and place them all under the discounts and all the buffs. And I decided to place them like on the top of the hill, which is a really bad decision. But I hope you're not doing peninsula chimps with this strategy. But if not, just place them in the range of all the villages. You can see the reference photo that I put on earlier for cracked with this strategy. So just do something like that. It's going to be fine. And this is going to have more than enough firepower to beat all of the rounds. Because I am silly and did a few silly things, some rounds will get a little close, but everything else for you should be fine. So for the abilities, for the Pat Roar and the Pat Hug, like always, only use the Pat Hug on round 80 and 97. Any other round, it's just not worth it, so don't do it. For the Rally Roar ability, we're going to be using it kind of on the ZOMGs, because the ZOMGs are the things that have a lot of health, and we kind of need the Rally Roar ability to take them down, so that's where we're going to be using them. Also, one last thing we get is that we get a Bloon Impact at the bottom to help stun leaking ceramics that get by the Tack Zone and Prince of Darkness. So with all of that, that's the support we need. On round 98, I do believe I get a few more presses to help out. The mod presses are really good with this. And then I think I have about $20,000 left over, so that's really all we need. If you want to get a Sabo, you can get it, but Prince of Darkness usually just cleans up fine, and that is really all you need. So goodbye, enjoy the rest of this run. Turns out I am silly and I forgot to mention overclock. There's nothing really fancy with the overclock. We can overclock the Tack Zone and it just does a lot more damage. So now that's the end of it, and bye.